A cleaning service contract is the document that protects both sides of the cleaning arrangement. It spells out exactly what gets cleaned, how often, and what the pay looks like. Whether you're hiring a cleaner, running a cleaning business, or starting out as one yourself, this is the document that keeps everything professional and dispute-free. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the reasons why you need one, what to include, and the common mistakes that land on both sides in a dispute. Let's jump in. Do you actually need one? Quick answer, yes, especially if this is more than a one-time arrangement. The level of detail depends on the situation. A commercial space that gets cleaned daily, like an office, a restaurant, or a medical facility, needs a thorough cover-to-cover contract. If it's a home getting cleaned twice a month, you don't need 10 pages of legal language, but you need something in writing. And here's why. A contract isn't about distrust. It's about clarity. When both sides agree up front on what's expected, the relationship runs smoother and there's no awkward conversation later about who is supposed to clean the oven. For a cleaning business, it also signals professionalism. Showing up with a contract tells your client that you take your work seriously. Now, what about what to include? At minimum, your cleaning service contract should cover these 7 things. The names of both parties, the client's full legal name and the cleaner's full name or business name. The service address, where the cleaning is actually happening. The billing address, where the invoices get sent. Especially important if the client is a business owner and those are different locations. A detailed list of duties. This is the most important section. Don't just write clean the kitchen. Be specific. Counters, appliances, floors, inside the microwave, whatever is expected. If you're the cleaner, this protects you from the scope creep. If you're the client, this ensures that you get exactly what you're paying for. Vague contracts create disputes. Frequency. Is this a one-time clean, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly? Put it in writing. Pay and payment structure. The rate, when payment is due, and how it's being made. Does the cleaner invoice the client? Is the payment due on the day of the service? Settle this upfront so there are no surprises on either end. Signatures. Both parties sign. Oh, and one thing I want to cover before we go are the common mistakes that lead to disputes. Because even when a contract is in place, these things come up more than you'd think. Being too vague on duties. This is the most common one. Clean the bathroom means something different to every person. One person expects the grout scrubbed, another assumes that's extra. Spell it out line by line, and then there's no room for interpretation. Leaving payment terms open. If the contract doesn't say when payment is due and how it gets made, you're setting up an awkward conversation every single time. Cleaners, put your payment terms in writing and stick to them. Clients, know what you agreed to and honor it. Not accounting for cancellations. What happens if the client cancels at the last minute? What if the cleaner has to reschedule? A good contract includes a cancellation policy, so neither side is left in a bad spot when life happens. Skipping the renewal or termination terms. For recurring arrangements, how does either party end the relationship? How much notice is required? Without this, ending a cleaning arrangement can get uncomfortable pretty fast. An official, ready-to-go template is linked below. It covers everything I just walked you through, and you can fill it out in minutes. eForms is the #1 source for easy-to-use legal templates. If this was helpful, hit like and subscribe. And for other tips on starting a small business, check out this video up next.